What this video needs is more Ætherband. Ætherband is a term I smithed to account for the manifold miraging effects observed over distance, whether terrestrial or aquatic. Aether simply refers to the air and all its constituent elements which compose its nature. Band refers to that area of 3D space which contains the observation being made. This band can be as broad as the entire field of view or a smaller, isolated section. The Ætherband is the cause of every minute and alternating effect under the broad category of mirage. That is, Fata Morgana, inferior mirage, or superior mirage, or any other optical or atmospheric distortion or refraction or whatever the hell happens out there.
Hello, what ho! Welcome back to another exciting adventure of The Plain Truth. I'm your host, Travis Finley. So, we have adventures in shooting the Chesapeake Bay with lessons in the Ætherband. I had something in my mind yesterday and started to do this, and now I can't get back into that mindset, so I'm just going to do whatever. Part of what I was trying to do yesterday was show you the different displays that the medium presents. Now, these photos that I'm showing you are screenshots of videos, unless there's a timestamp on it, which would indicate that it's a still. Okay, so that's why a lot of these aren't going to be framed. Like I would say, this image here is, even though there's not a timestamp, this image here is more than likely a still shot because I frame these shots with the tower in them. As I said yesterday, this observation is the conditions where we see into the distance farther than we normally see. Okay? And when that happens, when these conditions happen, this is what happens to the image. It's distorted. It is not crisp. It's not clear. There is no reflection. There's no inferior mirage. Okay? And so these are the conditions for looming. Looming is when you see farther than you normally do. But in the globe model, looming happens when what is behind the curve is refracted up into your line of sight. Okay? That is not my understanding of what we're looking at right here. Let me do this real quick because I got to go back and forth between these. Okay? So, let's see. Regardless of the focal length, right? Let's say if both of these were still shots, you might argue, oh, they're not the same focal length, so of course this house looks bigger. You know, this house looks smaller than this one, but if you zoomed in to this one, then the scale would, you know, proportionally work itself out, blah, blah, blah. Okay, that's not the issue. The issue is right here. The issue is this mirage that's not here, right? We do not have a mirage here. This is a grossly refracted image. Gross. That is, it is a lot. It is massive. Okay? In order to get this presentation, there is a lot of distortion that has to happen. There's a lot of distortion that has to happen here. Okay? You see right here this little tiny red smudge, right? That smudge right there is the pavilion that's right there. All right? And in the video on this one, I remember, you can watch this wave in and out of visibility. There's a point at which I remember freezing it and it absolutely disappears. And that is all happening in the dynamic at the fold line. At the fold line. Okay. So, you know, the question is, when we look at these images, my question here is, what is creating this apparent horizon? Right? The water ends right here. Water, 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 what? No water. What's going on here? What is this? Why does this water end here? What is the cause of that? Okay, that's the question. I know the answer. Do you? All right, now I know for sure that both of these images are screenshots of videos. Okay, so that's why they're not lined up. I apologize for that. It's just the way it is. Okay, this is a better image than the one that we had previous. But in this image, we are still seeing down to the shoreline, but there's an inferior mirage right at. So you see where this, you know, what's creating this apparent horizon right here? What's creating that? The mirage. Here, the water ends at a more acute angle, and there is a mirage right here. Now, in a minute, when we continue with the slides to the right, we'll see a boat on the water in this same video to contrast with. Okay, but all of that to say, look, we've got the full roof of the red roof pavilion. We've got the dunes, and this boat right here is right at the boat ramp. It's right at the boat ramp. It's sitting here for minutes on end in the video. I thought it was in the water. I walked away from the video and came back and watched it get pulled out, but it had been sitting there the whole time. So there's a dock right here, right? So what's interesting then is that we have another aspect of looming where we're seeing into the distance, but there's a lot more clarity in the image with other objects. So that's another interesting dynamic. So we have an extension of our visibility into the distance with a very acute mirage. Okay, here you can see the difference. Let me see if I can maybe make this smaller one. I don't know if that'll be better. Let's see. Okay, let's see. All right. So in this one, we can clearly see the ground beneath the house. We cannot see that here. Okay, so I've had to look at these over and over and over again, and it's so abstract. This is such an abstraction as to what's going on. We looked at this yesterday. Here's the sailboat. That sailboat is in an inferior mirage, and if we scaled, I'll have another one in a second in one of the other clips. Right? If we scaled that, and typically all sailboats are roughly the same size unless they're massive, you know, they're like 28 feet. You should see, we should be seeing the entire sailboat. But that sail is in an inferior mirage, and that mirage is blocking, just like the mirage is swallowing up the shoreline here, that if you look at that entire roof, you can just see this fold line here. That is not entirely physical, right? There's about 2/3 of this is physical, and then the bottom part is a mirage. And so one of the things that ballers, those globe flakes out there, say, oh, are you saying that the entire image is compressed in this little tiny? It's impossible for that. Okay, that might be conceptually true for you, not to be able to conceive of that. But the one thing that I want to say right here is that the water in the foreground is also being refracted, as well as what's in the background. The background has a different effect and a different cause, and this water, and so both of those things working together. I wish I could just whip out this program and put what's in my head. Like if you were to look at this orthographically, this apparent horizon line could be 3 miles away from me, 2 miles away from me. Okay, so that means that it's being lifted up, and then what's beyond it is being magnified and miraged. So there's multiple effects going on, and I have yet to see any discussion in Andrew Thomas Young or others where they actually deal with multiple effects at once. I don't think that I've seen that. Okay. All right. Next slide, please. I can't remember if this is the same video or not, but all right. Let's go over just a little bit. I don't know why I put both of these up. Let's see. I think that this is different because there's a bit of a difference in the tone. You can see the brightness of the tree here. It's not so bright here. Just trying to think through this. I mean, obviously it's the same season because I've got that pavilion. Trying to think through. I don't know why I pulled this one up. So keep going. Can't remember what I did that one for. All right, so here if you look closely here, you can see the mirage. You can see the mirage right here. Mirage, mirage, mirage. Remember, 2/3 of that roof is not, 2/3 of that roof is physical. The bottom third is not. Okay, so now here we go over to this shot here. You've got the mirage, and now you've got the land exposed. Okay? And you've got another sailboat. And then you've got the separation of the pavilion roof and its mirage. You can see that very thin degree of mirage there with the red roof house or red roof pavilion. I was thinking of something else. Again, this is this is an amazing, in my opinion, it's an amazing phenomenon where you've got the ramping up of the water, and then at the same time, everything's, even though we can't see this, the hull of this boat, it's still on the same horizontal with me, right? My feet are on the shore, which would place my feet right at the water's edge, which is right where this hull is, right? So we're on the same horizontal plane. Okay? All right, so here we have more of a development later on. You've got more land underneath the house. You've got more definition underneath the pavilion. Let me see. I'll go back a little bit smaller. All right, so you can see it's a thinner shoreline there. More of a shoreline. Okay. All right, this is the first slide there. All right, had a phone call. I'm back. Let's get this zoomed in. Oh, is that the same one? That is not good if I did the same thing. What? All right, well, I don't know how I got that confused, but all right, let's zoom in here. Okay. All right, so here again, just to carry over those images showing the difference between, we got more exposed there. Okay, so here, let's see, maybe I'll bring it over to this one. Okay, so here we can see now that there's land underneath the pavilion. We can see more land underneath the house. Okay, so you can see the land here, which is the shoreline. Okay, so this red roof pavilion is about 50 feet from the water and about 14 feet elevation. Okay, so this is the shore right there. This is the shore. You're seeing the shore. Okay, Now in this image here, you can't see the shore, and you've got this boat cut in half, right? So let's do this. In my opinion, if I could imitate this boat, let me see. All right, just about right there, right? Okay. So let's see, that boat goes up to the second floor, so that's right there. See how that works? Or doesn't work? Okay. But if this boat, so this is what I was thinking. This apparent horizon line, based on what we see this boat, I guess, since I didn't make a clip of that boat, I could put the, like, right, see? So like this boat right here is, you know, about roughly the same size as a sailboat. Right? Like if that sailboat was going that way, that'd be to scale. Okay? That's where I would put this water line here. Right? That's the apparent horizon. So guess what I'm trying to say is if you think about this boat here is roughly where this is here. See that? This is just so abstract. I'm kind of thinking through this at the same time. So if I say anything that triggers you that is helpful, then let me know. The other thing, yeah, let's see. Try to think through it. I guess what I'm saying is that if this sailboat, was on this day, we'd see it. Okay? So the reason why we're not seeing this boat here is because of the refraction. The reason why we're seeing all the way to the shoreline here is because the refraction is different, and it is allowing us to see farther by dropping the water down and extending our visibility, right? And in this one, it's limiting our visibility and raising the water up. Okay? All right, so here is the other image. Let me see. End up making it maybe a little bit bigger. Okay. All right, so this is taken from a video. This is taken from a video. This is a boat. Okay. Remember, this boat is on the boat ramp, about to be pulled out. So this is the shoreline. This is the shoreline. Okay, we don't see the shoreline here. That's not curve. Okay, this water has been dropped. Our visibility has been extended. I'm going to zoom in real quick here to show you the... Okay, you can see the inferior mirage, right? See the inferior mirage right there. There's the top of the boat all the way down. You can see the inferior mirage there on the boat as well. Now, I have caught glimpses of the channel marker on the other side here. It's a number 5 channel marker. And in this visibility, it's not that great, so I don't know that I can see it. But if I had to guess, it's right there. Right where my fingertip is touching, okay? Now, I've been on this shore. You know, these this is the retaining wall. There's no shore access here. I mean, it's just all rocks. You can walk down there, but it's not a beach. You know, that's the shoreline. You know, there's no curvature here, right? There's no curvature here. What I want to do, I think, is go back to the other image here, because I think that, no, it's not there. Is it in the next one? Yeah. All right, now this is the original setting for looming, because you've got this massive compression. And when I say massive compression, these boats are squashed to hell, right? They're smushed, right? And you can see these aqua bands, just like the ones over here. Right? So you've got this large aqua band here, and then when you get right there, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 that I can count. 1, 2, 3, 4. You've got this one. You've got that thin brown one, and then others above it. But those boats, you know, are distorted. Think of this one. This one is not. It's got an inferior mirage. These boats do not have an inferior mirage. So I've not yet got great shots of boats all the way across to the other shore without like this right here. Well, I mean, yeah. So we're seeing down to the shore, or down to the water in the hull of this boat. We are as well here, but these boats don't have the dimensions that this one does because of the Ætherband and the effects that they are undergoing through that. Oh, this is yeah. So in this one we do have the channel marker. Okay, I'm gonna. Okay, bring this over a little bit. All right, you see that green thing right there? That's the channel marker, and that's about a quarter mile off the shore. Okay, shoreline. That's the entire shoreline is there. The entire shoreline is here. And if you remember one of my previous videos, when Adam was filming, I was standing right here, waving my arm, and you could see me, and I was standing right at the water. I've got another video where there's a golf cart right here, and it drives up the drive and leaves. You know, so I mean, this is straight line of sight down to the shoreline. But the thing that you need to understand are the different conditions that present different observations. All right, so this is the last one here. And again, we've got the shoreline. Now there is a an acute mirage. Okay, right there at the this is a dock right here. You can see the doubling right there, how acute the angle is. But there is let me do this. That would be interesting to look at, right? Let me go back over here. Okay. So because this channel marker is stationary, I mean, it is tethered and it does bob and weave a little bit, but it's never over here. It's never over here. This is the channel marker. Okay, so let's get a bird. Let's do this. Trying to do scape. Oops. Why didn't you guys tell me? Okay. So there's the channel marker there, which means that the channel marker should be visible somewhere in here. Now I'm going to suggest that that means that this apparent water line is farther out than the channel marker, and then the channel marker is going to be swallowed up in the mirage. That's my suggestion for why we can't see it. And I'm going to zoom in real quick just in case I can maybe you guys can see it too. I don't know. I don't think I see it. Yeah, I don't think I see it. Okay. So again, that means that the refraction is cutting the horizon shorter than the shoreline, and then whatever is beyond that is in that minute degree of refraction. Okay. The only thing I can think of is like there's this one thing like right there, but that's too close to the pavilion in my opinion. I just don't think that's that's the channel marker. That's too far away from its normal spot in my opinion. Just gonna go back real quick. Oops. A tree. Yeah, it's too far away. The other thing that trips me out is just this. Okay, so like what do you think? Okay, let me do this real quick. Okay, so let's do this. It's hard to get everything to scale, right? Now, roughly, we have the same okay, so I'm going to say that these are two stills because of the framing of the tower. Okay, but you can see how close I got it to the top of the frame. And then to the left, and then to the left. But look at the difference in the size of the house. This house is smaller. This house is bigger. I think it seems to me that the distance between the house and the pavilion is different. Not much. It just looks that way for some reason. Doesn't it look that way to you? Doesn't it look like that's wider? I think maybe I couldn't see. All right. How about that? Okay, that looks okay. And then let's see if I can line that up. Yeah, just a little bit. Anyway. All right, so I guess I've just been thinking through how to what my next step is going to be. I think what I'm going to do is go through Andrew Thomas Young's classifications of mirages, and instead of using his graphs that he puts up, I'm going to give you real images of what I think the conditions are. I'll say it right now that I believe that the condition of sinking is misclassified and is what I would call proximate looming. So instead of the object being dropped behind the horizon, which has to be the curvature of the Earth, instead of that, it is the proximate looming is the raising up of the foreground in front of the distant object, which makes it entirely refracted and not physical curvature. Because in other conditions, that obstruction is gone and you can see farther, just like we're seeing in these images here. Anyway, so this has been another exciting adventure of The Plain Truth. I'm your host, Travis Finley. Until next time.